All right, lovers of freedom, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Breaking news, you can see. The Nigerian government don't know what to do again. You keep arresting these people. You keep arresting them. You are doing everything possible to make sure that you damage the cause of our freedom. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu must be released, and Biafra is coming, because the tension on Tinubu now, there is a lot of tension towards Tinubu, and this tension is what is going to bring forth the freedom we the Biafrans have been seeking for a very, very long time. So if you are just joining us now, I don't know what is happening. Yesterday, Sowore was arrested alongside with other people. So they have been released in the Magistrate court in Kuje. So we'll be playing what happened yesterday so that you can understand where this video is coming from. So we are going to link two of them together today, because a lot is happening in Abuja. So much tension in the Nigerian government. So much tension in Tinubu. Pressure, they too much. So much pressure. Even the so-called Southeast politicians, the so-called Igbo politicians are so quiet and scared. Hope Uzodinma, Wike, Soludo, all of them are so quiet and scared because they don't know what to do again. Because the only solution to this problem is the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Soludo, you have been shouting since of the rate of insecurities in Biafra land. But you don't know that these your different security units, these thugs you are giving guns to, that you call Udogachi, Operation Lebago, they are the ones causing the insecurities in Biafra land. So let me not talk much. Let me play this video so that you can understand what is actually happening in Abuja. The kind of high rate of tension in Abuja. Now stay tuned as you subscribe, and feel free to share your opinions on the comment section. If you are just joining us now, you can check back our previous videos. Then you can understand why we, the Intel TV News, we continue to give you back-to-back information regarding the cause for our freedom. Stay tuned and God bless. Biafra is coming. Biafra is coming.
Join you as soon as possible. They try everything they can to break us, but they can't break us.
They cannot break us. We are unbreakable.
We are unbreakable. We are unstoppable.
And majority of every
Power.
And according to their title, they say breaking. Police arrest Sowore after court appearance for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Happening now. Abuja. Former presidential candidate and activist Omoyele Sowore has been whisked away from the precinct of the Federal High Court in Abuja by armed policemen shortly after he made appearance for the detained leader of the Indigenous People of Biafra (IPOB) Mazi Nnamdi Kanu by the armed police. Sowore, who is a frontline agitator for Kanu's release from detention, was on Thursday accosted by the security operatives who insisted he must move with them to the Federal Capital Territory FCT Police Command. So that means if the police that arrested Omoyele Sowore are from the Federal Capital Territory FCT Police Command, based on where they have taken him to, that means they were sent specifically to arrest Omoyele Sowore or to kidnap him. And this very move was made on the command of the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun. You understand? Because this man has been looking for a way to silence Omoyele Sowore. So if they are from FCT Police Command, that means the order is coming directly from Kayode Egbetokun, the Inspector General of Police. I'm telling you now, and it's exactly what is going on now. Asked what his offense was, one of the officers explained that they were executing an order from the Commissioner of Police. You see, an order from the Commissioner of Police. To be honest, I haven't read this part. We're actually reading together. As I'm making this broadcast, we are reading together. The only thing I have read from beginning was the title. Only the title, which says police arrest Omoyele Sowore after court appearance from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I've never read, this part now. You see, it's from the police boss, Kayode Egbetokun, Now imagine living in a country where police, commander will just issue command to go and arrest anybody anyhow, even without that person committing any crime, without no arrest warrant, nothing. They just whisk you away. Now, the commissioner of police said, we should bring you to the office. The officer added. Even though he queried the absence of a letter of invitation to him, Sowore, who maintained that his lawyer must accompany him, was taken away in a police van. Zoological Republic. And I will tell you something before showing you the videos. I will tell you something. So pay attention. It will be recalled that the activist and publisher of an online news platform, Sahara Reporters, was among the organizers of the Free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu Now protest that rocked Abuja and other parts of the country last Monday. In the course of the protest, 12 persons, including Kanu's younger brother, Emmanuel, and one of his lawyers, Aloy Ejimako, not one, they were two, Barrister Aloy Ejimako and the Barrister Mandela case. They were all picked up, including the bishop, were arrested and subsequently remanded at the Kuje prison. Police in the first information report, FIR, it filed before a chief magistrate court at Kuje, alleged that the defendant during the Free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu protest, which is said was held in disobedience to a court order, chanted war songs while disrupting the free flow of traffic. A crime. This is a crime in the eyes of the zoo. You must not speak, you must not talk. If you talk, you have committed an offense, punishable by the law of the executives, punishable by the law of the presidency, punishable by the law of police. They have their own law. The law of the Federal Republic of the Zoo is meant for the citizens, but the executives, the government has its own law. The executives, the police, the army, the lawmakers, which is of course the parliament, they have their own law. Their law is different from the constitution. And anybody who say you are going to survive in this kind of atmosphere, go and dig your grave already. They alleged that they engaged in criminal conspiracy, incited disturbance and disturbed public peace, offenses punishable under section 152, 114, and 113 of the Penal Code law. You see, I told you that they have their own law. The executives, the judiciary, the police, the army, the senate, they all have their own laws. And their laws are outside of the Nigerian constitution. And it's a very, very heavy problem.
That public statement that that might have said perhaps in out of camera to you.
No, nothing yet. I've yet to be informed otherwise.
Right.
But I know that tomorrow he may be meeting with some of the current legal team that were debriefed.
Right.
May be possible some additional members of the legal team to go forward, at least to have some people who will surround him and be giving him legal advice where necessary, and the authorities that he will need to proceed with the defense of his case.
Right.
But what we are saying, crucially, Charles, is that Section 36(6)(b) is essential, that it appears that the government is rushing his defense by giving him 5 days. He's already made known to the court, and the court has given summons to 23 witnesses. He will need to spend time to discuss with those witnesses, and where those witnesses are not compliant, to ensure that the court compels them through subpoena to come and testify in court as to their knowledge of events from the time he was arrested to the time he was extraordinarily renditioned, and from the time the trials also began 5-6 years ago. So if you're going to rush, the prosecution has had more than 10 years to prepare for this matter. They've arraigned him on several charges, withdrew several charges, and rearraigned him. They've had adequate time to present their case, and they have rested their case. The defense also requires adequate time to be able to present their case. You cannot say in a capital offense, a criminal trial that has so many significance, not just for jurisprudence, but the social and security dynamics in Nigeria, that Nnamdi Kanu is expected that is within 5 days to be able to put a defense. If you're going to railroad him, just like the court in their determination, court says he does not verily believe that access to lawyers at the DSS facilities may be videoed, may be eavesdropped. So he agreed for 3 hours. That was yesterday's meeting for himself and his lawyers to meet at the judges at the court 7 specifically. But if you go to court 7, there are video cameras, opportunities to also eavesdrop. I'm not saying that his lordship was in his chamber, but what if he was in chamber? Who else was in chamber with him to eavesdrop on the discussions between Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and his lawyers?
Well, they would argue that it's getting all rather paranoid now.
No, it's not. No, if you agreed that because of electronic cameras and audio equipment and all the stuff in DSS would not be adequate for him to have concrete discussions with his lawyers in the defense of his case, and you're moving him from DSS to his court. But the court itself is also...
Yeah, but I mean, obviously the judge has more confidence in the court than the DSS facility.
Well, he's not...
So that's...
No, he moved the matter from the DSS facility to the court.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Hoping that the court will be an adequate place.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He obviously has more confidence
absolutely,
in the
but then the same court has the same issues as it would be at the DSS. The court is also wired electronically.
Yeah, but maybe the judge, because he's a judge in that court. I mean, I'm just speculating. Has more control and more access to that kind of material.
So what if the judge was eavesdropping on his conversations with his lawyers? Would that not also affect? Would that not also affect the way and manner, the perception that he sees with the case?
That's purely
and
speculative.
would also lead to bias.
Yeah, that's speculative. But let's move away from that. Usually, the decision by someone to fire his lawyers and represent himself tends to be a tactical move. Mm-hmm. It's sometimes used by defendants hoping to challenge the system. I mentioned that at the outset, and potentially gain an acquittal. They believe that by representing themselves, they can control the narrative and create reasonable doubt. But that strategy has also been known to backfire. I give you one example, and it's probably an extreme example, and I don't mean to kind of link it to Nnamdi Kanu, but if you remember the mass murderer in America called Ted Bundy, who was eventually executed. I mean, he got in, his lawyers were trying to arrange a plea bargain for him to get 75 years in jail, in other words, life imprisonment, and he got angry and fired all of them and said he was going to represent himself. And he ended up being found guilty, condemned to death, and executed because he did it himself. Whereas the lawyers had already made a plea bargain arrangement which would have kept him alive.
Well, let me tell you something, though.